Next time I'll get it right, but for now I'll stay right here where I belong.
You have an amazing opportunity, young generation, to rise above and be proud of the choices you're making, and get out of a codependent culture and be responsible for you and work harder in your life than anyone else ever will.
What do you want? What do you want out of your life? Where do you want to go? If no one else will fight, I'll be the one. I'll be the one to step into their world. I'll be the one to walk with them.
And I mean it more than you'll ever know.
Some people will ghost you. Well, then maybe they're not real friends. At some point in time in your life, you are going to have to come face to face with yourself.
Next time I'm getting it right. Will you believe me if I say this is the last time?
And then she points at me and she goes, there's greatness inside of you. Sometimes we need people to believe things for us until we can believe it for ourselves. Because I look at what I'm doing now and it's not lining up with what they said I couldn't do. And now I'm doing everything that people said I couldn't do. Because now I travel the world and I share my story.
Next time I'll get it right, but for now I'll stay right here where I belong.
And by the time I was 26, I was sitting in 30-day inpatient treatment for alcohol. My family wanted nothing to do with me, couldn't hold a job. I was codependent, all because I thought I could get away with it. I should probably have about 10 DUIs. I only have 2. My last one was June 24th, 2010. That was the DUI that changed my life.
For it to hurt more, to stay the same. When I get through this storm, I'll find it on my own. And I'll mean it more than you'll ever know.
And so I'm going to talk about connection and belonging. We're looking for a place to belong where someone can come out and say, hey, we want you here. I want you here. We want you around. We say we live in such a connected world. If that's the case, if we really say we're more connected, then why is everybody more depressed?
There's no dumb kid. There's no worthless kid. There's only kids that have been starved of love and have been wounded so badly, they're just looking for a place to lay. We can't change the history, but we can help shape their future.
Next time I'm getting it right.
Take one thing that you want to focus on to overcome in your life. Take one thing at a time and walk through the process. The process is only a process if one stays in it. If you don't stay in the process, then it's no longer a process.
Welcome back to the Peer Purpose Podcast. So excited to be here with you. Always a delight to be here with you on this journey. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode. I got a good one for you all today. You know, I know a lot of my topics on here are super heavy, right? I understand that sometimes it is heavy and sometimes there's a lot of topics that may be hard to hear. And I completely understand that. I remember when I first started on this healthy journey, it was not as easy for me to be in a situation where I could do hard things consistently. And sometimes I had to do it here and there. Sometimes I thought I was doing it, but I really wasn't. So I understand there's some things that are heavy, but today I want to talk about the gold inside of you. You know, you hear me say that a lot at the end of every podcast, but I just want to simply talk to you about the gold that's inside of you. We're all created, okay? Created to be amazing. We're all created to have purpose. We're all created to have a divine destiny. Okay. At the end of the day, the chances of you becoming a human being are like 1 in 400 trillion. Like, it's really not that likely. And so the fact that you ended up a human being, that is a miracle and it's amazing. And so I want to uplift you more today and just share just some things that are inside of you, right? I remember one time in my life, I couldn't see all the good stuff inside of me. I didn't understand what it meant to care for others. No one had really showed me what that was like. I didn't really quite get it, okay? I didn't understand what it meant to be a man of your word. Okay, I didn't know this stuff. And then it took people to come alongside of me to kind of help me see that. And obviously you guys know my story. The help of God made that super possible. But if nothing else, I just want you to take away today that you're amazing and you're valuable. Okay. And you guys have so much value inside of you. If you listen to the Art of Value podcast, I talk a lot about how value can change your life. And so a lot of you are valuable. I just want you to know that. And when we are able to figure this out, it actually becomes like a treasure chest. And it just keeps unfolding as we continue to go through life. There's new things you discover about yourself. There's amazing talents that you discover about yourself. Looking back, I remember when I didn't even think that I could even create curriculum or write books. And I have a desire to do all those things, but I wouldn't have known that had I not been able to tap into the value that's been inside of me, and at the end of the day, we all discover things about ourselves. And there's things right now you can look at in your life like, man, I might not be that good at that. But you know what? Maybe now is not the time that you'll be shown that you're good at it. Maybe you'll be 5 years down the road. Maybe it'll be 10 years down the road. So I want us to understand, okay? And when we start knowing we're valuable and we start saying, man, there's actually something that I have to offer. And we kind of get this wrong today. We kind of think that if we feel good about something that we bring to the table, we kind of feel like, well, maybe we're too cocky about it. We're too prideful. And that's not actually the truth. It's okay to love yourself. I can tell you this right now. I spent many years hating myself. I spent many years not thinking I was good enough. I spent many years thinking that I was the bottom of the barrel. So you best believe that when I discovered otherwise and the opposite of that I was going to tap into that. And so it's okay to tap in. It's okay to tap into the fact that you don't hate yourself. It's okay to tap into the fact that you love yourself and how proud of you are that you've overcame things. We live in this weird society today that tries to tell us that we shouldn't be proud of our accomplishments. No, we should. We should be proud of our accomplishments. And if you're listening to this, I want to tell you, I'm proud of you. There has been many things that have been thrown in your path, and you've handled each and every one of them with grace, and you've been able to navigate and work through and walk through all the hard things. I promise you, it's going to be a big reward at the end. So keep moving through. And it's just to encourage you all that the value inside of each and every one of us, that's what we're truly seeking. Okay? You're valuable. There are going to be people that are coming and go in your life. Okay, that's going to be inevitable. People are going to come and go. Okay, but I just want to encourage you in that if you maybe feel like you're misunderstood or you're not around the right people right now, I promise you there is a group of people that you'll find one day. I promise you'll find those people just because others might not see the value. And let me just tell you something. Some people, they don't know how to hold your value. They don't know how to make room for your value. And so they're not going to really know what to do with it. And so that just may be a situation where it's okay. Like, it's just maybe not your people. But one day you will find the people that know how to make room for your value and that see it, even when you can't. Okay? And so we have those people in life. So some people come and go, but don't get discouraged. We're all meant to be around people. We're all meant to want to be loved by people. We're meant to be wanted around. We're meant to be desired to say, hey, I want you to be with me. I want to include you. And I just want you to know that a lot of you are doing super well. Show yourself some grace. Give yourselves a break. It's not going to happen overnight. What do they say? The whole saying is Rome, it wasn't built in a day. It's going to take some time. But as you continue to build, beautiful things will come out of that. You'll see value in others as well. And there's just something about a person that is striving in the value that they can see in themselves and that they can walk in that and the value that they can see in others. Okay? There's some things right now, y'all, that you do really well. Double down on that. Some of you are very good at including people. So I'm encouraging you, double down on that. I actually tell kids this all the time when I see them. I was like, hey, man, you got a really welcoming presence about you. I just want you to know, like, that's a great quality to have, and never lose that. Because it's okay to make people feel welcomed. And people feel safer when they feel welcomed. And so a lot of you have a lot of great qualities. Some of you are really good at seeing others right now. And you're able to say, man, I really admire what they have. And so that's a good quality that I'm going to tell you, hey, that's a good thing to have. Don't ever lose that. Okay? Some of you are really good at having fun and building joy. That's gold, because there's going to be a day where there's going to be people that just want to be around you because you make them smile and you make them laugh. I know when I get to a place where I need to laugh, I tend to try to spend more time with the people that are going to make me laugh, because I know that I'm going to have a good time around them, and I'm just going to overall feel good about the atmosphere that I'm in. Okay. And so some of you are really good at athletics. Some of you are really good at being coaches in your respective team that you lead. So maybe that's going to be a great quality to have one day, that you'll be able to lead other people. Gold can be found anywhere. You just have to choose to see it. Once you choose to look for the gold in every person, in every situation that you encounter, you will see the world way differently than maybe you have to this point. There will be hard times. That's part of life. But it doesn't mean that the hard times have to be the constant factor. They can come and they can go. And so there's going to be people that maybe right now they don't understand how to make room for your value, but doesn't mean that one day you're not going to find that tribe of people that will know exactly how to make room for your value. Okay? And so we have to understand that today. You want the right people that are going to handle your value with care. And so when they do that, then that's when you actually are more empowered to handle others people value with care. And so just know that there's so much gold inside of you. If you're building joy in your life, if you're building your joy tank reserves, keep building that. Keep building that. Okay? When other people come into your life that are your tribe and they see the gold and they make room for the gold, they're going to help you blossom into something that's going to even shock you. It just may be a big shock that, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this here. I didn't even see what this could be. I'm shocked at, like, when I moved out to Wyoming, I met a lot of people that were able to hold space for my value. And even at the age that I was at the time, I believe I was like 34, somewhere in there, 33, going to be 34. I can't exactly remember. But even as a grown adult, it made me feel good for once that people could see me. And that just does something to you, right? It does something to you because it just makes you feel super, super valued, and that, like, okay, there is a purpose to this. Okay, so I want us to understand, some of you, your value is in an incubation stage right now. It's just brewing. Okay, it's brewing, and it's going to be brewing for a little while. But once the right people come open, you'll be able to reveal that to them, and they'll be able to help you even naturally steward that well and be able to handle it with care. Because sometimes we don't know how to handle our own value with care. And so I just want to encourage you that not everyone maybe deserves your value either, right? There may be some people that will mishandle it. And so you want to make sure that the right people around you will value, because it's very easy for the people that don't value you to misunderstand your heart. And that's the last thing we want to do. Okay? You deserve to be understood. You deserve to be so understood that you can say something and people will take it the way that they actually should take it. Okay? You deserve that your heart is represented well, that people can step into that world and they can get to know your heart, and they can get to know what makes you really tick, and what makes you really passionate, and what makes you really fired up for the good things that are happening in your life. Okay? You deserve your heart to be in a place that someone can say, hey, this is safe here. Because when you have that space, that can create more for healing than you would ever even know. And it's actually not even anything that you're doing consciously of. It's just happening. Sometimes when you just are in an atmosphere and you're taking in the great things of that atmosphere, things just happen. Things happen all day long. And all of a sudden, before you know, you're like, oh man, that thing didn't bother me as much as it normally would. And then you start looking around, oh gosh, I actually find myself wanting to be around people more. And just all these things start happening for you. Okay? All these things start happening for you. And before you know it, you realize, maybe healing has been taking place. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Because this isn't all just doctorial when it comes to healing your heart. Sometimes it's just being in certain atmospheres around certain people. Sometimes if you need more positivity, get out of negative environments, and that continues to breed more positivity that you create for yourself in your life. Okay? And so I want us to understand this. One of the things that I want to share with you today, and I really feel like this, for me, changed everything, and I might not have known at the time that it changed everything, and I believe I've said something like this before, but it bears repeating. You're worthy of love. Each and every one of you are worthy of love, and I'm not talking about romantic relationships. Sure, one day in your life, that's going to come, okay? Some of you may be dating now, especially if you're a youth, right? But if you're not, like one day you're going to be of age where that is going to be a thing. Okay, I understand. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's a normal part of life, okay? But I'm talking about worthy of love just with people. You're worthy of being loved by the people that you interact with every day. You're worthy of being loved by your teachers. You're worthy of being loved by your principals. You're worthy of being loved by your friends. You're worthy of being loved by your teammates. You're worthy of being loved by your parents. You're worthy of being loved by your siblings. You're worthy of being loved by yourself. No one was created unworthy of love. So if that's a lie you may be believing right now, I'm here to completely obliterate that lie. No one was made unworthy of love. We were all made to love and be loved. Otherwise, relationships wouldn't cause so much harm to our hearts when things go wrong in them. We're all made to be worthy of love. It was April, the end of April, early May, 2011. I'm in Canton, South Dakota. I just checked myself in the Keystone Treatment Center for the very first time. I'm in detox. I'm 26 years old. I don't know much about having good things happen. I'm very scared. I'm terrified, actually. I'm hopeless. I'm beat up. I'm exhausted. And overall, I didn't feel like there was anything that I had to offer. I'll never forget this. I'm in a long hallway. There's two ladies at the end of that hallway. Me at the end. Don't know what I was doing, but I was going with them. I was on this end, they were on this end, and we were passing. We ended up meeting at the middle. I proceeded to say hi to them. They proceeded to say hi back. I took a few more steps, and one of the ladies, she turns back around. She goes, "Hey, you get over here." It's like, okay, I'll get over here. And I walked up to her, and I had no clue who she was. I do now, but at the time, I did not know who she was. And I'll never forget this. And she looks me up and down as if she's almost like trying to get a fill of me. And she looks at me and she puts her finger close to my chest and she says, "There's greatness inside of you." And I said, "What?" She said, "There's greatness inside of you." Mind you, nothing in my life to that point had been great. The biggest thing that had happened to me at that point, I did go to Michigan State. I played a little bit of football, but that ended up getting washed away. But after that point in my life, there was nothing that ended up great. And so I almost was offended that she said that to me. But here is why it really messed with me. It was the first time in my life that I didn't believe something about myself that someone said to me. It was the first time that someone said to me something that I didn't believe about myself. And that's what messed me up, because I didn't believe I was great, but she said I was great. And it made me feel, wow, someone actually values me. And that little seed that this lady, her name is Pastor Paula, planted in my life, I believe grew into what you all are seeing now. And I believe that there's way more to come from it. When you learn to believe in yourself, amazing things can happen within you that will give you a life that you will be proud of. Not only that, it will also help you impact many people around you, because you will bring them something that they might not have. You're going to be okay. I love each and every one of you. I'm telling you, the gold inside of you is enough to change the world. And the greatness that you're going to walk out is enough to make heads turn and for people to ask, how can I do it too? Continue to live whole and a full life. I'm with you. We're in this thing together. Keep climbing, and I'll see you next time.
Next time